what we here all know. I want to emphasize this message for my transgender and non-binary friends here in South Florida and across the country as well. I can't even pretend to imagine the daily battles you have to wage to be your authentic selves. But please know that there are people in Washington who have your back. We do. It might not feel like it, but we do. My colleagues and I in the Equality Caucus are fighting for you every day by denouncing the hateful policies and rhetoric of the Republican Party. There, I said it. Okay. Just and Maine. And to all my fellow cishet allies here, I want to share with you a little wisdom from my LGBTQ+ friends and staffers. Support your LGBTQ+ friends and family by telling them how much you love and appreciate them. You know, sometimes I feel like when I say this, that it might feel patronizing. But the necessity of communicating our love, communicating our recognition that your lives are valued, that equality is essential, and that you are fully embraced isn't patronizing. It is absolutely critical and uplifting. We need to be by their side and lend our voices to theirs. And we need to use our privilege to help them speak truth to power. I'm thrilled to be invited to speak here tonight because the Human Rights Campaign has done so much good work for Florida. There is such a vibrant LGBTQ+ community, particularly here in South Florida. And any of you who have been to Wilton Manors, the Straight Friendly City, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, or Miami Beach know that this is true. Yes, Wilton Manors, the Straight Friendly City of the United States of America. But as we know, Florida has been making headlines and gaining national attention for its record on LGBTQ+ rights, and sadly, it's for all the wrong reasons. Governor DeSantis and his extremist supermajority in the legislature have been on a renewed crusade to undermine LGBTQ+ folks, which has led to some disturbing developments in recent months. In particular, they targeted transgender girls who are now prohibited from playing school sports. Let me say something unequivocally that shouldn't be controversial. Trans girls are girls. Trans boys are boys. And love is love. Very clearly, very simple. Last year was the deadliest on record for transgender Americans. Violence against the LGBTQ+ community is an epidemic, especially for trans people. At a time when we need to treat hate as a national security crisis that it is, Governor DeSantis is wickedly stoking fear and curtailing the civil liberties of the LGBTQ+ community. He is exacting vengeance on his opponents. He is harming people's lives. And he is propelling the end of some lives. And I don't say that lightly, but that is the truth. With his blessing, the Florida legislature further chipped away at LGBTQ+ rights by passing the Don't Say Gay bill last year. It banned classroom discussions of sexual orientation and gender identity, effectively devastating academic freedom and our children's right to a comprehensive education. This bill especially harms the mental health of our LGBTQ+ youth who already suffer from the relentless politicization of their lives. Think about it. Our teachers and children can no longer talk about their LGBTQ+ brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, and family friends in Florida schools. Guess what, Ryan? There is nothing taboo about being LGBTQ. Other challenges on this front as well. In recent years, our state has faced growing rates of HIV infection, a trend that disproportionately impacts members of the LGBTQ+ and Black communities. I'm proud to share that I used my position as a senior member of the Appropriations Committee to secure additional funding for AIDS research in the FY23 government spending package. We might have made a lot of progress, but we can't allow ourselves to go backwards. And this language specifically directs the National Institute of Health's Office of AIDS Research to target areas with the highest prevalence of infection and to develop interventions specifically for high-need communities, including right here in Florida. It's important that as we fight this epidemic, we must also denounce policies that continue to stigmatize stigmatize this disease and the communities that are affected. And as I'm sure you all know, we've seen a huge win in this fight, just recently announced, as was mentioned by Kelly, by the FDA. Under their new proposal, the FDA's archaic time-based deferral policy for blood donations made by LGBTQ+ individuals would be replaced by a more inclusive, risk-based screening regimen. I'm proud to tell you that I have personally lobbied the commissioner myself on this backwards policy, and I'm glad to see this powerful far too many are getting the care that they need and deserve. And speaking of powerful accomplishments, thanks to the advocacy of HRC and other amazing organizations, as we know, but it can't be said enough, the House of Representatives passed a landmark piece of equality legislation last Congress. As a vice chair of the Congressional Equality Caucus, I was proud to help lead the effort in the House to pass the Equality Act, a bill that would put a stop to discriminatory laws pushed by DeSantis and other anti-LGBTQ+ politicians across the country. This legislation had never passed a single legislative chamber in Washington before the 116th Congress. And we made that happen in the House, and only because Democrats had control. And while that's great, elections have consequences. Unfortunately, this bill to guarantee LGBTQ+ civil rights will likely meet its end at Speaker McCarthy this Congress. McCarthy controls which bills gets votes on the House floor, since Republicans have the majority just by a little. In the House again, and elections, I want to underscore, have consequences. Which is why I'm proud to share that I recently became the newest member of the Equality PAC board, so I can help make sure that we elect a pro-equality majority in this next Congress. It's only through a pro-equality majority that we are going to be able to make sure that we pass legislation like the Equality Act, that true equality will be comprehensive, and that we make sure we end the rampant discrimination that in many forms is still legal. We have politicians in one party who prefer to denigrate the humanity of trans folks to win elections over affording them basic rights and human dignity. We also have an extremist majority on the Supreme Court who overturned a 50-year precedent when they struck down Roe v. Wade, and an concurring opinion threatened the security of contraception rights and marriage equality. Now, I want to just take a little moment to communicate an aside here. I think Justice Thomas probably didn't intend for his concurring opinion to actually be the result in landmark federal legislation, because he telegraphed what he was really trying to help come next after Roe v. Wade was thrown out. Because he wrote that concurring opinion, and because he said that we needed to toss out other privacy-based rights that had been won in a court battle, that is what resulted in the Respect for Marriage Act. Thankfully, Congressional Democrats and President Biden led the way in making the Respect for Marriage Act law, which gives much-needed security to same-sex marriages across the country. Please remember that those of us in Congress who want to help cannot do so without you. We all have to hold DeSantis and Abbott and their anti-LGBTQ+ friends accountable. And although it will be difficult to move pro-LGBTQ+ legislation through the Republican-controlled House, I know I hope to find common ground with my friends across the aisle, one by one if necessary, to make sure that we can build bipartisan support for bills that advance equality in all forms. This isn't a single-party issue. Democrats and Republicans across the country support equality. So there's no reason that Republicans in Congress shouldn't do the same. This evening, I've been real with you all about the challenges that the LGBTQ+ community faces. But you all have so much to be proud of. We have made progress. There are 149 women serving in the United States Congress today. The largest number of women in American history. We have the largest number of African Americans serving in the United States Congress today. And we have the largest number of out LGBTQ+ Americans serving in the United States Congress today. This change often happens more slowly than we like. But the important part is that it happens, so long as dedicated citizens like you remain engaged. I have spent my career in Congress as a champion for everything the Human Rights Campaign believes in, and I am not about to rest, because I believe in equality to my core. And that is how I know HRC and its supporters work constantly to promote awareness of the challenges faced by the LGBTQ+ folks and advocate on their behalf. Your activism, your leadership are inspirational and sorely needed in these challenging times, and we need you. We cannot do this alone. We need to make sure that you're out there organizing and communicating, and I can assure you that I will fight by your side to my last